our next speaker, who's Claire Watson, Head of HR Operations UK at Arla, and Claire is going to speak about Arla and their approach to best practice people management policies, skills strategies, and impact on productivity. Claire, thank you very much, and over to you.
Thank you very much. So, morning everybody. I'm going to start by just acknowledging I've scripted what I'm going to talk to you about this morning, but I did so as a conscious choice from a personal productivity perspective, because it was really important to me that the things that I wanted to share that I remembered, and it was really important to me that I had freedom of space to focus on all the other things that I get up to. So once I'd nailed this and put it to bed, I could concentrate on everything else I'm up to. So I hope it doesn't lose its impact from that point of view. So I'm going to start today by sharing with you my why. So the reason for sharing is that my own personal why is what's brought me here today. So it's my why that's driven the courage to dare to fail today and never give up, the creativity to shape this talk, and the energy required to invest the time and show up with passion and enthusiasm. I was asked to talk here today about HR practices, productivity and skills, and that speaks so closely to my why, I couldn't say no. So, my why is that I've spent 25 years working as an HR professional, driven by my passion for work being a place that enhances lives. A perfect synergy with our CIPD purpose of better work and better working lives. I'm a 13 times Ironman finisher who is almost obsessive with optimising human performance in my pursuit of Kona World Championship qualification. Thank you. Not there yet, but there's a goal. And I'm also on a mission to ensure that one day neurodiversity will be understood, celebrated and embraced for the amazing skills this community have to offer the world. So that's what brought me here today, a synergy of purpose, my own why, and this forum's focus on productivity, people management and skills. And I believe that a synergy of purpose is one of the core ingredients to optimising productivity. So, there's a bit of familiarity here, I think, in terms of what we've talked about this morning already. So, I'm going to talk about productivity in the context of scripting has its downfalls in terms of looking up at the audience. So, what brought me here today? Synergy of purpose, my own why. I'm going to talk about productivity in the context of optimising people's performance, because business performance / productivity is only achieved by people. Without people, you don't have a business, never mind a productive one. And since I began my career, it's long amazed me as to why this obvious truth often gets lost, and HR professionals often scrap to justify a strategic seat at the table. I hope this presentation today will help refocus anyone who might have lost sight of this simple truth and reinforce our why for the rest of us. From an individual performance perspective, I'd like to share a few truths by experience. All of these truths have become evident to me in my years both as an athlete and in a work context. So first for me, there's a bit about understanding your own sweet spot. Talk of burnout is prevalent and is real because many are working too hard for too long. Historically, in many businesses, long hours and hard graft are what have won promotions. In the athlete world, we know the value of balance, work, hard work, and rest and recovery. We know to get stronger, we need the right amount of stretch. Too much we get injured, and not enough we don't progress. It's nicely depicted here in the human performance curve illustration. So our performance in the workplace and life in general is no different. Second, what gets measured gets done. So data is a key metric to tell you whether you're on track or not, when you need to do something different. There is a watch out with data for me though, because if it's used as information, and not a pass or fail, it can be performance enhancing. If it's used as a stick and not a carrot, it can become distracting and destructive. So third, happiness. Happiness enhances time to exhaustion and ability to withstand pain. Happiness is a key component of flow state, and happiness equals more resilient athletes and employees. Happiness is performance enhancing. It feels good, so be happy and engender happiness. The fourth is trust. So trust in self, trust in team, trust the process, and psychological safety is essential for sustainable productivity. Every personal best I've ever achieved came from when I focused on the inputs, trusted my training and myself. In the sporting context, my coach had faith before I did. He believed, and he believed until I did. So be your own and your team coach, believe and help them believe in themselves. So balance your work effort, focus on the process and use good data. Be happy and trust. You might also like to think about how these performance enhancing components are supported or not by your policies, procedures and practices. I'd specifically highlight modern flexible working and output-driven performance measures here as a primary focus. So, on to organisational performance. There's lots of ingredients in the collective human performance cocktail, and I've chosen a few to focus on today, and three main areas. So one is a synergy of purpose, a mission, vision and values that the right employees can connect with. Two is an integrated business and people processes and strategies. And three, leadership, and leadership that is shaped by reward, learning and development, talent acquisition, amongst other things. So these are the three components that shape the environment. They're the culture in which we work, the way we do things around here. And neuroscience tells us how critical our environments are in shaping us, our thoughts, behaviours, actions, physiology, and yes, performance. I'm going to talk you through some exceptional people practices at Arla Foods and why they work. So I've worked for multiple sectors with multiple organisations, and Arla Foods by far is head and shoulders above the rest in relation to creating the best possible environment for me to be able to deliver optimum performance results. And it, without question, enhances mine and my family's lives. I'm not alone. In 2024, 88% of our 18,500 Arla employees said they were proud to work at Arla. So for those of you that don't know Arla Foods, we're a farmer-owned dairy cooperative. Our head office is based in Denmark and we're a global organisation. We have a clear mission, vision and values and culture. Our good growth DNA, values and leadership behaviours are continually communicated, role modelled and integrated into everything that we do. Our current business strategy, Stronger People, Stronger Planet, sits on a foundation of our Win With Our People HR strategy. So you can see in Arla, people are at the core of everything that we do. In addition to our mission, vision, values and strategic plans, we also have our people calendar. So let me introduce you to our people wheel. As you can see here from the graphic, we have 6 processes. What I love about this is that our people processes are totally integrated with our strategic business planning. So our dialogue is an individual goal setting and performance assessment process. Our salary review and variable pay are linked to our performance assessment outcomes. Our people is where we review if we have the right skills, resources and structure to deliver our business plans. Our LOTES business planning is where we clarify smart actions to deliver against our strategic ambitions. Barometer is our annual colleague engagement survey, and calibration is where we align on our people performance assessments. So all these processes are carried out top down and bottom up across the entire organisation on an annual basis. They're how the organisation operates. I've chosen to zoom into 3 of our people management processes as core components of driving people performance / productivity at Arla. So first, reward. Our reward philosophy and principles include paying for performance, and at Arla, performance is measured on 2 scales. So the result and the behaviour. So the what I deliver, but also how I deliver. The how is assessed against our values and our leadership behaviours. The individual annual salary review is linked to their individual performance, and our variable pay contracts contain a combination of business and performance results, including business growth, profit, and leadership for our people managers. So all people managers in Arla have a set objective of achieving an Arla Leadership Index score of above 60. So this measure comes directly from our barometer survey. So our people have a voice in how well our leaders are leading and our managers are managing. We have a clear purpose for our performance management in Arla, which is to improve the performance of our business while enabling, developing and recognising individuals. Our learning and development team are the HR custodians of our values and leadership behaviours. In Arla, our leaders envisage, engage and deliver. We have clear competencies by role, from leading self to leading group, and all of those align to our job catalogue. We have clear descriptions of what good looks like at every level of leadership, which enables us to hire, grow, develop and assess our people against. They also keep us on our toes with well-stocked, ever-refreshed learning library with in-focus development aligned to our business strategy and needs. Leadership for me is so critically important, fostering focus, clarity, psychological safety, inspiring and engaging our people to be their best selves at work. And our talent acquisition team are the custodians of our culture. Our hiring processes are set up to ensure that we hire and promote people whose purpose and values align with Arla. We use psychometrics and competence-based interviews to hire and promote against values, competencies and potential. Our talent acquisition team, in collaboration with our hiring managers, are the ones who spot the synergies of purpose. They are critical in setting our people and organisation up for success. So I wanted to touch on skills, and specifically in relation to diversity and environment. So I'd like to tell you a little story about the day that I loaded my daughter's details into a portal ahead of her ADHD assessment. And it was a day that still chokes me. I've read this a few times and I didn't do this, so I'm sorry. So my daughter, Charlie at the time, a vibrant, intelligent and full of life 8-year-old little girl. So both as a mum and an HR professional, when I saw a whole section of the portal dedicated to uploading disciplinary and grievance documentation, I just felt really sad. So I felt really sad because it shone a spotlight on the truth of our society's lack of understanding of how neurodivergent brains work. For years, our society has vilified our neurodivergent population. Children have been labelled naughty and adults disruptive. So my daughter's ADHD, dyslexia and dyspraxia have challenged and changed me as a mother, a leader and a person. I've learned that changing how I communicate with my daughter and her divergent brain is the key to unlocking her potential and our happiness. She's amazing, and I could tell you so many things where she's absolutely amazed me in the way she's viewed a situation totally different and way better than I would. So, we have big business and societal challenges. We have skill shortages in the UK. The likes of our engineering and innovation skill shortages have direct and positive synergies with the amazing skill sets of this community. And yet our misunderstanding and lack of effort to adapt and connect, many are unemployed, have been disciplined or fired, and this community are at a high risk of mental health issues due to continually being made to feel or told they are wrong or don't fit in. Our neurodivergent community have amazing skills that, according to the social model of mobility, are only actually disabled because of the environment that we shape for them. So you and your people managers and leaders have the opportunity to shape that environment. So in summary, I invite you all to think about synergy of purpose, integrated processes, exceptional leadership, true diversity allyship, and to focus on your people to create the workplace that enhances lives.
So as HR professionals, obviously there is a big role that we have to play in shaping that culture and shaping those workplaces to be more inclusive for our neurodivergent communities. You've talked about 17,500 employees in Arla. How are you shaping that journey at the moment? What have you put in place to maybe take down some of those barriers where people's behaviours around being disruptive? I mean, as a HR professional myself, the amount of people that don't actually share their neurodivergence with employers. I've come from various different sectors, but we're in South Yorkshire and one of our biggest would be manufacturing. And actually, that has been a real challenge coming from other sectors which I have found more open to inclusive work cultures. How have you, obviously with your sector, how have you kind of shaping that journey?
Yeah, so there's a few things on the broader diversity, because I'm very well aware it's a broad area. It's not just about neurodiversity, it's about lots of other things. One of the things that we've done at Arla is actually tackle inclusion. So we've got 2 programs that we designed and launched across the organisation. The first one says it's titled Inclusion Starts With I. And that's focused on us as individuals understanding ourselves and the impact we have on others, and asking our colleagues to empathise with others and understand. So I think we recognise it's such a big subject area. You're never going to be the expert in everything, but what you can be is kind and compassionate, empathetic and thoughtful. So our first training programme talks about that, and then we've just launched a second one that is called Inclusion Starts With Us. So that's about a sort of deepening the connections that we have and how we cope with our different views and our different experiences of life together in the organisation. It tackles some tough areas. What language should I use? We're trying to make a place where it's okay to be different, and it's okay to have a conversation about it. So there are a couple of the big programs that we've launched. We also have a number of activities that run on a regular basis where we invite our colleagues to talk about their lived experiences. I did one. We have what we call a We Are All Arla talk, where we publish and we chat about our experiences. We show up as mums, as as parents, as well as people who work in an organisation, and talk about our experiences. And then we have got some ERG groups that we've launched in the UK, and we're working really hard in the HR really to educate, so provide routes of knowledge, because a lot of it is helping people understand and actually helping managers manage, because they're scared generally in this subject area. So lots done, loads more to do, loads more.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for your question. Time for another quick one, if there's another quick question. Peter.
Oh, you got it.
You might need that, Claire. We were chatting before, because Arla is an interesting company coming out of Denmark, and you were saying the Danish culture, and I've worked a bit in that region of the world, is perhaps a bit more attuned to some of these things? Have you found a distinction between how these programs work in a context of, say, Denmark versus the culture of the United Kingdom?
Thanks. Great question. And the answer is probably not what you're going to expect, because we're actually leading the agenda on D&I in the UK. And the reason I think that is our societies are so fundamentally different. So the state catches a lot more in Denmark than it does in the UK. So the whole fundamental of how work, there's not an inherent fear in employees in Denmark of losing their job, because they're much better looked after than there is in the UK, because it's a basic need of ours is security of work, that we show up differently from that point of view. So yeah, I think the different societies really, I don't think it's as needed in some of the Nordic countries as it is here. That said, they've been very inspired by a lot of the work that we're doing. Gender diversity is actually very top of the list in those countries. I think we've got more of a breadth of diversity focus happening in the UK at the moment. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, Claire, thank you again.